the whole frequency, that means the total frequency, that means the total number of datas. When we divide it by 4, that means we can take one quartile out of the data, right? But most important thing is when we need to separate one quartile from our data set, the data set needs to be in ascending order, right? So that means the smallest data first and the largest data next, right? So by using the ordered data set, then we can calculate the quartiles, right? So here you can see the definition of the quartiles. Quartiles are three summary means that divide a ranked data set into 4 equal parts. The second quartile is the same as the median of the data set. That means if you need to find the median, that means the second quartile means the median, right? So the first quartile is the value of the middle term among the observations that are less than the median, right? So that means, look at this one, the figure 3.11. So if this is the data set, then if we can take the middle position of the data set, that means the whole frequency divided by 2 gives us the middle position. Then that means by using that middle position, the middle position's data is the median of the data set, right? So that means it is the second quartile also, Q2, right? So when we separate the first half of the data set and again take the middle point, middle data of that data set, then we can call it as Q1, or else we can calculate it by dividing the data set by 4 and take one portion. That means we can calculate the position. Okay, let's discuss about an example, right? So assume that you have a data set with 20 datas, right? You have a data set with 20 datas. Then you can find Q1 by dividing Q1, right? You can find Q1 by dividing that the whole number of data into 4, right? Divide the whole number of data by 4. Then you will give 20 divided by 4 equals 5, right? So that means the fifth one is the Q1 of your data set, right? So then if you are going to take the Q2, that means you need to divide your data set by 2 more, or else you can take divide your data set by 4, but you need to right? So you need to take 2 portions separate. Then you can find the middle position or Q2 or the median, we call as median, by taking the half, right? So that means 20 divided by 2 equals 10. But the problem is in such cases, we can divide that much of data into exact 2 portions. That means it is an even number. 20 is an even number. So that means in such cases, there are 2 middle values, right? So that means if we divide 20 by 2, it is equals to 10. But you need to consider, to find the Q2, you need to consider 10th data and the 11th data, and you need to take the average of the 2 data to find the median or Q2, right? Okay, then Likewise, you can find Q3 by taking 4 quarters, right? Uh, 3 quarters out of 4 quarters, right? So that means you are going to take not the first quarter, the second quarter. You need to consider about the third quarter, right? So in Sinhala, we are calling hatarengen kewa tuna, right? So then you can calculate Q3 as the whole number of data divided by 4, and you need to multiply that value by 3, right? Or else simply you can take it as when you find the median of your data set, then you can separate the data set into two portions regards with the median. That means the Q2, right? So then you can take the second half, and then you can find the middle position of your data set, right? So let's discuss it with an example, right? So, okay, there's an example, right? Okay, this is the example actually. Okay, look at this one. This is the example. Here, refers to table 3.3 in example 3.5, which gives the profits, right, under several companies, 12 companies, right? So there are 12 companies. That means there are 12 datas. Altogether 12 datas, right? Please learn this, right? Because this is very important and you have one question from this part, right? So if you have any questions regarding that part, please ask, right? Okay, then, okay, then there are, sorry, there are 12 datas in this data set, right? 12 raw datas. Okay, then what is the first thing we need to do? First thing is we need to arrange it in increasing order, right? From the smallest to largest. Okay. Then, then we know for an even number, we can divide it into two parts, right? We can divide it into two parts with no remains, right? So that means we can divide this 12 data in exact two portions, right? So that means there's no middle position, right? Middle position is empty. In your childhood time, you find median by cutting the values from both sides, no? You cut 7 to 45 and 8 to 17. Likewise, you can find the median like that also, right? When you're cutting such values from both sides, then if you cut this one and this one, there's no middle value, right? That is the case we are facing with even numbers of data. Then, then what we need to do? We need to find the middle value of this data and this data. That's why we are finding Q2 by taking the last value of this portion, first portion, and the first value of the second portion, right? Okay, then we can have the middle value. That means Q2 as 12 plus 13 divided by 2, it is equals to 12.5, right? Okay, then Q2 is okay, right? Then how we find Q1? We can find Q1. We didn't use actually this, we didn't take this value as Q2, and also we didn't take this value as Q2. We only take the middle value of these two values. Then that means this value also included in this portion, right? So we are consider this value when we are calculating the Q1, right? So then the middle position, then we know there are 6 values in the first portion and there are 6 values in the second portion, right? Then we need to find the middle value of this first portion. right? So in such cases, we know that 6 divided by 2 equals 3. That means there's exact value without decimal points, right? So that means it is going to divide by, it is divisible by 2, right? So in such cases, then we know that 6 divided by 2 is equals to 3. Then we need to take this third value and the fourth value. That means again we are going to separate this portion into two portions. No? So we are taking this portion's last value and this portion's first value. And then we are taking the average of that one as Q1. Right? Again, same with that, Q3. Right? So likewise, we can find Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay, that's all regarding find how to find quartiles and interquartile range, right? So then how you can find the interquartile range? Interquartile range means in Sinhala you learned it in your O-level time Antas Chaturtaka Parasaya, right? How you find that one? Q3 minus Q1 equals the IQR, that means the interquartile range, right? So here it is mentioned in here. Interquartile range equals Q3 minus Q1. For this case, Q3 equals 15.5 and Q1 equals 9.5. Then you can have the uh, interquartile range as 6. It's very simple, right? Okay, there's another example here. Look at this one. This is little bit different. Why? There are how many? How many data are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 data. That means the number of data is as odd number, right? So that means there's the middle position. In such cases, we can find the middle position by adding 1 to the number of datas. That means there are number of datas means 9 datas. No? So 9 plus 1 equals 10. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. That means the fifth data is in the middle position. It is the Q2, right? And that means the median, right? So in such cases, we don't need to take 1 for Q1 and Q3 calculations. Why? Because we don't need to consider this value because this is in the middle position. So we are going to eliminate this value and we are only taking this portion, right? And then we can find Q1. There are 4 datas. So then we can have the middle position as 4 yes. There are 4 datas. Then 4 divided by 2 equals 2. That means it is divisible by 2. Then we need to take second and third values. So then you can find interquartile range. So then if I gave you a set of data, 30 number of datas, and when I ask you to make stem and leaf diagram, can you do that? We discussed that part early. Okay, please tell me, can you do that? Can you prepare a stem and leaf diagram when I provide you some, let's say 40 datas, for 40 datas? Can you do it? Yes or no? Can you prepare a stem and leaf diagram? Yes or no? Hurry up and answer the question. Or you can drop a message into the chat if you can't open your mouth. we discussed about stem and leaf diagrams earlier. So, okay, I hope that you all are sleeping. Okay, then I'm not going to tell it, right? I'm going to discuss something about that part. You are not opening your mouth, so I'm not going to discuss that. You can't have the recording because I'm not taken recording of this one. If you need a recording, you can record it, right? But I think there's a problem with recording. You have no access, right? So there's no, in this part, there's no very big fear here in this part. It is very easy. Learn it now. Why you are going to save it for the future, right? Okay, then if um I gave you, let's assume that I'm giving you 40 datas and ask you to prepare the stem and leaf diagram, then I'm asking uh, to find the median and Q1 and Q3 and IQR, right? So then how can you find it? First, you can prepare the stem and leaf diagram, and then what you need to do? The thing you need to consider is that the number of data, right? If the number of data equals 40, then that means 40 divided by 2 equals 20. Then 20th and 21st data are in the middle position, right? So after you making the stem and leaf diagram, do you again need to order your data set into ascending order? Stem and leaf diagram එකක් හැදුවට පස්සේ ආපහු අර raw data set එක ආපහු ascending order එකට හදාගන්න ඕනද? ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ mid papers බැලුවාම ඒ වගේ තැන් ගොඩක් තිබුණා. ඕනද එහෙම කරන්න? Do you need to prepare your raw data according to the ascending order again after you preparing stem and leaf diagram? No, right? Because after you preparing a stem and leaf diagram, that means you analyze your data. That means you prepared your data. You ordered your data according to the ascending order, right? Then no need to prepare it according to the ascending order again, right? Don't do the same thing again and again, right? So then by looking at the stem and leaf diagram and by counting the positions, right? By counting the positions, you can find what is the 20th data and what is the 21st data. And then you can have the average of the data, and then you can find the Q2, the median, right? Then how you can find the Q1? What you need to do? After you finding the median, that means there is a 20 data portion in one side, right? Then what you need to do? You need to take the middle position of that part. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. That means you need to take 10th and 11th data and find the average of that one. Okay, I'm going to discuss it with an example. So before that one, keep it in mind. Before that one, we need to discuss percentiles, right? Okay, the percentiles and percentile rank. Okay, then what do you call as percentiles? I think you can read this slide. So, what do you mean as percentile? That means uh, you're going to separate, and in other words, you're going to measure and divide your rank data set into 100 equal parts, right? So, and then you can calculate according to that, right? So, then how you can calculate percentiles, right? You can calculate percentiles by using this equation. Then you can find the approximate value of the kth percentile. K is any constant value, any number, right? Any integer number, right? So any number denoted by pk. So you can calculate pk as value of the kn divided by 100 term in a rand data set, right? So in here, k denotes the number of percentile and n represent the sample size, right? Then let's discuss it with an example, right? Here, refer to the data on 2008 profit for 12 companies given in example, the previous example. There were 12 data, right? So find the value of the 42nd percentile. What is the value of the percentile? 42, right? So how many data are there then? How many data are there? 12, right? So that means you can calculate it as 42 into 12 divided by 100, right? So that means 5.04 term, right? So the value of the 5.04 term can be approximated by the value of the fifth term in the rank data set. We are going to round off it to the next integer, right? So then P42, that means 42nd percentile equals $11 billion, right? Okay. Okay, then by using that equation also, you can find the percentile rank here. Look by using this equation, right? So the percentile rank of x1, xi. Let's take any data, right? The percentile rank of any data equals number of values less than xi, right? By looking at this, take this one. Let's take, we need to find the percentile rank of 30, right? Then we can find the percentile rank of 13, this first 13, right? First 13, this 13. Then we can find the percentile rank of this one by equating number of values less than this one. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here 6. Right? Then total number of values in the data set. How many datas? 12. Right? So 6 divided by 12 equals 102. Then we need to multiply because we need to find the percentile. So we need to multiply it by 100. Then by multiplying it by 100, we can have the value as 50%. Right? Okay, there's an example. Refer to the data on the previous one. The data are given. find the percentile rank $14, $14 billion profit of this company. Give a brief interpretation of this percentile rank. Here, what we need to do, percentile rank of 14 equals, what we need to do, the data's less than that value. That means less than 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 8. Divide by the whole number of datas. How much? 12. Then we need to multiply it by 100. Then we can find the percentile rank of 14 equals 66.67 as a percentage. Right? So then what will be the interpretation? That means giving the interpretation means when you're finding some answer, then you are describing that answer. Right? So here it mentions rounding this answer to the nearest integral value. So we can state that about 67% of the companies in these 12 had less than 14 billion profit in 2008, right? Hence, 33% of these 12 companies had 14 billion or higher profit in 2008. Then by using the percentiles and percentile rank, we can interpret how much of companies, how much of the percentage is less than that value and how much as the percentage above that value, right? That is the interpretation regards with these percentile ranks. I hope you got it, right? So, okay, there's an exercise. So there are so many exercises are there. So you can try it at home. And I hope that you are not doing much more works regards with this one yet, this module yet, because you are at the end of the semester now. So you have some presentations and everything. So after you working on this module, that means after you doing more problems and everything, if you have any questions regarding my parts, that means what I told you, so you can arrange some online lecture or anything. I can help for you, right? So if you have such problems, you can ask it from me, right? Because for this kind of module, it is necessary to you to work, right? Discussing more questions in the lecture may help for very little amount of students, right? Because normally in the lecture, very little amount of students are attached and engaging with the lecture, and lot of students are not working inside the lecture. In this lecture also, I know that some are sleeping, some are eating. Such things are normal, right? The thing is, in such problem solving modules, in like this module, you need to work on that one, and then you will have questions and more problems after you working on such modules, right? Then if you find out any problems, then you need to solve such problems now. If you are, after you asking with your friends and after you discussing with your friends, then if you can't solve problems, then you can ask it from me, right? I'm always ready to help you. Okay. Then there are more problems. You can refer all these problems and work on these problems, and you can measure that whether you get that part or not, right? Okay. Then here we are for the last part of this uh, unit, box and whisker plot, right? This is pretty much important, right? Definitely you need to get that, right? Okay. Uh, what do you call as the box and whisker plot? I think next 10 minutes is enough to discuss about this part, right? What do you mean as box and whisker plot, right? By looking at the definition, you can grab that a plot that shows the center, spread, and skewness of a data set. It is constructed by drawing a box and two whiskers that use the median, first quartile, the third quartile, and the smallest and the largest values in the dataset between the lower and the upper inner fences. This is very easy, right? Drawing a box and whisker plot is very easy. The thing is, you need to find out some points, some values before you draw the box and whisker plot, right? Then we are going to discuss it little by little, right? So the first thing you need to identify is, first you need to study your data set. First you need to study your data set, right? You don't need to memorize all these definitions, right? Because we are not asking what is box and whisker in your examination paper. What we will hope to give you is we hope to give you a problem to solve, right? Okay. Then look at this. The first thing you need to do is study the raw data set, right? And if it is a considerable amount, that means if you can, it is in a manageable size, then you can make it into the ascending order. That means increasing order, right? Then normally in problems, we are giving you to draw this box and whisk plot as the last part of the question. It is the normal way, right? So then most probably you have to rank your data set according to ascending or descending order throughout the first part of the question, right? So that is the normal pattern. If not, you need to order your data set according to the ascending or descending order, right? So after that, then you need to find the median. There are few steps, right? First thing, you need to order your data set according to the increasing order. Then you need to find the median. Now you know how to find the median, right? Then you need to find the Q1, right? Q1. Then you know how to find the Q1, first quartile, right? Then you need to find Q3, right? Median, Q1, Q3, and IQR, interquartile range. You need to find the interquartile range. This is the first step. You can, if you need, you can note down it. If you need to draw a box and whisker plot, what is the first thing you need to do? Order your data set and then find median, Q1, Q3, and IQR, right? Then you need to find the points that are 1.5 times IQR, below Q1 and above Q3, right? Then what you need to do? You need to calculate this value, right? What is this value? 1.5 times IQR, right? 1.5 times IQR. Then you will get some value, right? Then you can, after finding 1.5 times IQR, then you can find lower inner fence and upper inner fence. These are two terms we are using in this box and whisker plot. Lower inner fence, upper inner fence, right? So lower inner fence equals, that means before Q1, lower inner fence. Lower inner fence placed in before Q1. That means we need to uh, subtract that 1.5 times IQR from Q1. Q1 minus this value, right? Then you can find upper inner fence, that is equals to Q3 plus that value, right? Then you can have two values for these two, right? Then what you need to do? Then you need to identify the smallest and the largest values in the given data set within the two inner fences. That means within the lower inner fence and upper inner fence. That means within 41 and 170, sorry, 137. Within these two values, you need to find what is the smallest and what is the largest. We are calling those two values as smallest value within the two inner fence and largest value within the two inner fences, right? So we can find it the values as 69. So 41 to 107, so 37. 41 to 137. There's no values less than 69. So that means 69 is the smallest value within the two inner fences, right? So then what is the largest one? It's need to be less than 137. So what is the value less than 137? 112, right? So we can select these two values. Then you can draw the box and whisker plot, right? So how you draw the box and whisker plot? First you need to draw the horizontal line. Then you need to mark, right? You need to mark there are values within 69 and 144. Then we can mark it by 5 by 5. You can decide it, right? 5 by 5. Then I am starting a value less than this one, less than the first value, right? That means I can start from 65, right? So then first quartile, I need to mark first quartile. It is 77. So I'm going to take a rough value and mark it with a vertical line, right? So there's no any specifications for the height of this line, right? Then I need to mark the third quartile, this one, this line, right? Third quartile, it is 77. Sorry, third quartile is 101, right? I can mark it. Then I need to place the median. Median is 87, right? Then I draw this line. Then I can draw this rectangle, right? By using this rectangle, I can mark this as a box, right? I can draw this as a box. There's no any specifications for specified values for draw this one. The only thing we need to mark first quartile, median, and third quartile, right? Then another step 5, the last step is marking smallest value within the inner fence, within the two inner fences, and largest value within the two inner fences. Our two inner fences are, what are the two inner fences? 69. Sorry, smallest value is 69 and the largest one is 112. our inner fences are 41 and 137. No? So within these two values, we found that what is the smallest and what is the largest value within these two fences. So then we can mark it by using very small dash, and then we need to connect it with the box, right? So if any value is placed other than this limit, so we can identify it as an outlier, right? So after marking the smallest value and the largest value within the two inner fences, after connecting those values into the box, then if any value is less than this one or larger than this one, then we can identify those values as outliers, right? Uh, okay, then that's it about the box and whisk plot, right? Then do you have any questions regarding that one? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. හරි. තව පාරක් stem and leaf කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා අහනවා. Okay, then let me explain one example. Give me 1 second. ඔයගලන්ට වෙන මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? දැන් අද කරපු ටිකේ අරගෙන ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Actually, I can't remember where grouping data වල තිබ්බේ. Random variable part එක වෙන දවසක lecture එකක් දාලා කරන්න බැරි වෙයිද? Random variables. Here is the stem and leaf. Ah, okay. Okay, then let me share my screen again. Can you see the screen now? Yes, right? Okay, then this is not necessary to discuss. If anyone don't need to join with this part, he or she can leave. I'm going to discuss about the stem and leaf diagram because of your request, right? So stem and leaf diagram means that the one method of grouping your raw data set, right? So here, look at this one. This one is a raw data set, right? That means there's no any order, and by looking at this data set, we can't find anything. How many 75s are there? How many 65s are there? We can't find anything, right? So in such situations, we can make a stem and leaf diagram to represent it in more clear way, right? So before making a stem and leaf diagram, first thing we need to do is we need to study the raw data set. In here, by looking at the raw data set, we can identify that 75, 69, 83, and likewise there are values with two places. That means uh, 75 means 10 sevens and 5 ones, right? So in such situations, we can separate these values by how many tens and how many twos, right? So we can take 10th place as the stem and ones place as the leaves, because there are some 70, 70, 70 values, right? 75, 72, 77, like this. Then how we make that? First, we need to identify what are the values we need to include as stem. 70 values, 60, 80. Then we need to include 70, 60, 80. Then there are 90 values also. And there are 50 values. So then we can take stems as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let me explain it in Sinhala. මේ වගේ raw data set එකක් හම්බ වුණාම මුලින්ම බලන්න ඕනේ මේ data set එකේ කොයි වගේ values තියෙන්නේ. සමහර වෙලාවට දශම තියෙනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට මේ වගේ ස්ථාන දෙකක් තියෙනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට ස්ථාන තුනක් තියෙනවා. ඒත් ඒක හම්බ වුණාට පස්සේ අපි බලන්න ඕනේ දැන් leaf වලට අනිවාර්යෙන් අපිට එක ඉලක්කමකින් පෙන්නන leaves තමයි අපි ගන්නෙ normally. හරි එතකොට දැන් 100 ගණන් එහෙම තිබුණොත් එහෙම එතකොට අපිට අර මුල් ස්ථාන දෙක stem එක විදිහට leaf එක විදිහට එක ස්ථාන ඉලක්කම තමයි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. ඒක තමයි clearest way of representing stem and leaf diagram, right? So in here, then we can, what we need to do, we cut 75 and in the seventh stem row, we are putting 5 because 5 is the ones place, first place, right? So then 69, we are choosing the stem 6 and we are putting 9 in the leaf section. Then we are choosing 83. Normally we are cutting using a pencil, right? Okay, then let me explain it in Sinhala. දැන් කොහොමද කරන්නේ? 75 කපනවා. කපලා පහ මෙතන හතේ තීරුවේ හතේ පේලියෙන් දාගන්න. පහ. හරි. ඊළඟට 69 කැපුවා. හයේ තීරුවේ 9. ඊළඟට 83 කැපුවා. අටේ තීරුවේ 3. ඔය විදිහට මේ data's ඔක්කොම one by one cut කර මේ leaf ටික fill කරගන්න. Right? Then you can find a proper stem and leaf diagram like this. Right? Then this is in the descending order, right? So because 50 values, Likewise, it is in the ascending order. But the thing is, your leaves are not in ascending order, right? Then if you need, you can rearrange this one by making leaves in ascending order, right? Then tell me, if you find, say, two leaves that are similar, that means if you find uh, 96 and again 96, what do you need to do? That means here there's an example, right? 92 and 92. Then definitely you need to allocate two leaves for these two values because they are separate values. The values are equal, but they are separate values, right? So, okay. Then you can rearrange this stem and leaf diagram by uh, ordering the leaves into the ascending order, right? Okay. Okay then. Then tell me, how many values are there in this example? There are 30 values, right? 30 values, 30 data, right? Then how can you find the median Q1 and Q3 easily? Right? You can take the number of data equals to 30, right? So then what is the middle position of the 30? There's no exact middle position, right? So there are two values in the middle position. What are the two values? 15th value and 16th value, because 30 divided by 2 equal 15. That means the 30 values you can separate into two portions as 15 and 15. There are two 15 datas, two sets of 15 datas, right? So, okay, then 15th value and 16th value are in the middle position, right? So, then to find median, you need to find the average of 15th and 16th data. So, how you can find it? You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What is the 15th value? This one. 77, right? 77 is the 15th value. Then what is the 16th value? 79, right? Then you can find the average of 77 and 79. How can you find? 77 and 79, 77 plus 79 divided by 2. It will be 78, right? Then you know that by considering 30 datas, there are 15 portions, right? First 15 portion and the second 15 portion. Then by using the first 15 portion, you can find Q1. How? 15 divided by 15 can 15 is 15 divisible by 2? No, right? Because it is not an even number, it is an odd number. So the middle position means, odd number means, how you can find the middle position? 15 plus 1 equals 16. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. The 8th position is the Q1, right? So then you can find Q3 as well, right? Okay, likewise, you can find Q1 and Q3 by using such stem and leaf diagram by counting the data, right? Okay, then that's it about stem and leaf diagram. And there's most important thing. What is the most important thing is, after you making stem and leaf diagram, definitely you need to display the key. Stem and leaf diagram එකක් හදුවට පස්සේ අනිවාර්යෙන් අර ඔගොල්ලෝ පොඩි කාලේ ඉගෙන ගත්ත විදිහට නම් යතුර දැන් ඉගෙන ගන්න විදිහට නම් key එක කියලා එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක අපි කතා කරා. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද key එක කියන්නේ? මේක display වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. දැන් මේක මෙතන බලන්න 9 stem එක 9 leaf එක 2 මේක 9.2 වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නැත්නම් 92 වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් ඕන එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙනම් අපි key එකෙන් පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ 9 අපි මෙහෙම ඉරක් ගහනවා 2 means මොකක්ද වැලියු එක අපි ගත්තේ දශම සංඛ්‍යාව නම් 92 නැත්නම් sorry 9.2 නැත්නම් 92 ද මොකක්ද ඒකේ තේරුම කියන එක අපි කීයකින් පෙන්වන්නත් ඕන. හරි. හරි. එතකොට ඒ ටික තමයි stem and leaf diagram ගැන කතා කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. ආයි lecture notes through යන්න පොඩ්ඩක්. මම මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බොත් පස්සේ කියන්න next week එකේ හරි කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. මම හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ නැති කියලා කරපු ටික. Okay, there's a problem. Suppose if we have 105, 117 and 234, 467. What should be the stem and leaf, right? Normally, when we are giving a data set like with hundreds of values, so then we will be very careful to give you the values as because the first two numbers needs to be the stem and the last number needs to be the uh, leaf. So then we will be very careful to give you the values as only within the considerable range, right? So that means දැන් මෙහෙම values මේකට stem and leaf diagram එක මෙච්චර ලොකු range එකක් දුන්නොත් දැන් මේක මුල් ඉලක්කම් දෙක වෙන් කරනකොට 10 11 12 ඕම ගිහක මෙතන 46ට වෙන් කරන්න වෙනවා, right? එතකොට එහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ අපි values දෙද්දි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මෙතන 10 11 12 වගේ stem එකට එන්න අර ඒ වගේ considerable range එකක values තමයි දෙන්නේ. නැතුව දෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? මම හිතනවා ඔය ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැති කියලා. ඒතකොට මේකට ඇත්තටම එහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ data. හරි. දෙන්නේ අර ඒක considerable range එකකින් තමයි දෙන්නේ. Okay. Random variables. Random variables ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොයි කාලේද discuss කරේ? මම උත්තර දෙන්න දැන් මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ මේ විසඳන්න. කොයි කාලේ කරපු එකක්ද random variables කියන්නේ මම කරපු කැලලක්ද? මිස් උෂාද කරේ? කියන්න ඉතින් මේ ඉක්මනට මට තැන හොයාගන්න ඕනේ මොකද chapter එක කියලා. Or else if you know what is the chapter, you can tell me. Then I can easily access that chapter and discuss it with you. Okay. Okay, then let me go through that one first about the random variables. Then I can arrange something. You can put a email for me, right? So then no need to put each and every person. Only the representative is enough, right? So then we can arrange something, right? So and the most important thing is okay then if you need to ask it from the other lecturer, you can put a mail, right? Or the presenter can come and meet her and ask, right? I think it is more ethical and it is more polite, right? So okay, then that means we are here for the end of the lecture. So thank you so much for joining with me, and thank you so much for the support you have given in the previous lectures also. And thank you so much again, and hope you will work well for the module and for all the modules, and hope you will get a better results, right? So, and good luck for the examinations and everything. And thank you so much and have a nice day. Good night. Okay, you can leave.